Voted the #1 podcast for scuba diving too. It's the Middle of the Road with TJ and Coach Casey.
Oh, I think you can take us underwater now.
I'm certified scuba diver.
You are. I remember you took the classes and you like almost failed, but they went ahead and passed you. They're like, we're not going to fail one dude.
Yep, they said we couldn't do it.
We're going to let him float.
I'd like to see, can you wear AirPods or, like headless,
I would think
wireless under, surely I want to like talk to like, when we're going down for our Titanic trip that we scheduled, I'd like to be able to communicate with you when we're doing that.
Yeah.
So hopefully this guy though, he's got one made out of some sort of polymer alloy.
Just like
so we
whatever this is made out of is what I would think.
Yeah, our show sponsor today is Sparkle Ice. Today they sent over a blueberry blend. I don't remember, was it just called
Blue raspberry.
Blue raspberry. Okay, well that sounds decent.
I'm kind of over it.
Yeah, see, I've never. You need to try the.
It's making me more thirsty than I should be.
The best one was one of the orange ones they got rid of, so maybe I only thought it was the best one.
I've drank it down to the plus sign, and that's probably about all we got.
Huh? Well, yeah.
Must be tasty.
Yeah, he doesn't like sparkling waters. He's never been a big fan. Well,
how much vodka is in it?
0.
That's the problem. That's why there's no, add a little vodka and then you'd enjoy it.
You got to get in that potato game.
Maybe so.
Well, what have you been up to since last show?
I'm just an old ranch hand.
Yeah, you've been farming.
Farming, yeah.
And watching sports. We'll get to that in a little bit. What about you, buddy? What have you been up to? We're live on the first time ever on the YouTubes over here. Next week we'll have the regular camera probably going. It'll look a little better, but we are on the YouTubes. What's up, Skid Man?
Oh, nothing. Just went over to a friend's house and picked a bunch of jalapenos. So it's going to get cream cheese and sausage, and I'm going to wrap those in bacon, throw them on the grill.
Ooh, I have a story about that. I forgot.
And Casey's going to hate them.
About wrapping cream cheese and sausage and wrapping them in bacon. And what's your story about it?
So I went pheasant hunting a couple weeks ago with my cousins.
No, that's dove.
Dove hunting, yeah.
He doesn't even know what he was shooting at because they were releasing them from the cages. It's all the same.
Okay, so anyways, we went dove hunting and I cooked them up last weekend. I wrapped them jalapeno, cream cheese, bacon, and dove.
How many cows did you bag? How many cows did you bag?
0.
Oh.
Bang or bag?
And we also were cooking brats with it. I put the brats on, got them going first, finished up, and brought out the stuff. My wife goes, and some scrimps too. And she goes, the grill seems kind of hot. I was like, well, I'll check it when I get out there. I'm walking towards it, and it's fucking pegged out at 600 degrees. It's like, Jesus Christ. I opened the lid, and it's fucking, boom. I mean, flames
what happened?
6 foot in the air.
Grease fire.
Grease fire.
Oh.
And so I shut it off. I
Propane?
turned the gas off, and then
propane.
unhooked the gas. And it took like 2 minutes to go out after that, and all my shit just fucking. I mean, it was charcoal. I was trying to pull it off, but it was so fucking hot.
It's just
I think you could have broke that outer shell off.
I don't know, man. I was
just like ash.
I was reaching there trying to get it out, but it was seriously. I took a picture of it right at first, and I left my phone inside after I went back inside.
Removed from the grill and placed straight into the urn.
My favorite stepdaughter gets on my phone and then posts a picture of it on my Snapchat and says, I can't grill for shit or something like that. I was like, you little punk. And
she also hacked.
Yeah, and then she put a picture of herself. So then I come back in, they're outside, and my wife and Bristol are both just giggling. I said, what the hell are you two laughing about? Nothing. I said, what are you laughing about?
You don't have a cooking password or anything?
No. And then Bristol goes inside, and my wife goes, Bristol, got on your phone and posted that picture. I was like, that little punk. And I come in and I have 7 messages on my phone. Oh, you could fucking grill for shit. Most of them are my Mexican buddies from the pipeline.
Oh, for sure.
They'll
make fun of Mexicans grilling. Oh, man,
yeah.
They're pissed at you too. They won't like you no more.
Yeah.
You set them straight. Like, no, that was grease fire.
Yeah, I
never cleaned my grill. It's different.
Dude.
I like the patina on my food.
Yeah, there was a lot of. I cleaned it out, so it shouldn't have a problem.
Widow Fumar.
burn all that shit off.
Oh, dude, it was so. The brats were like, they looked like this much of charcoal on them, and the dove was everything was wrong.
Well, I was hoping this week maybe where that sign is, or maybe take that one down. We'd have a new painting that was commissioned by the Three Wheel Bicycle podcast.
Yeah.
Stevie V hooked me up, sent it out on Thursday. I got the message. I came home yesterday. I'll tell you about just a little insight to how just normal shit goes with Casey. There's a thing on the door. We missed you. You have to sign for it.
Why is that?
Because he's an artist, and people steal art, and people porch pirate. Maybe in Casper, porch pirating is a huge thing. So he did you have to sign. So there's we missed you. Okay, what time did they come? Look on the camera. Isaac was here. Isaac, why didn't you answer the door? Nobody came. I said,
he's baiting or something.
I don't know, but he don't answer because he doesn't want to deal with nobody's
He doesn't
here
have
for
to talk
him.
to nobody. Yeah.
And but I said, did you hear the door? No, they never rang. They might have knocked. And I said,
Yeah.
well, somewhere around 1:35 or where the dog's going crazy. And he's like, oh yeah, I remember they were barking for a little bit. I didn't think nothing. I'm like, well, that was somebody at the door.
Yeah.
So I said, I rescheduled it for tomorrow. Make sure you answer the door. Be looking out for him, please. Because it's going to be a pain in the ass. If you miss second delivery, you might never get it.
Yeah.
And they never in 10 years have came before 1 out here. 11:25 they show up. The boys at school. Missed number 2 today. Trying to get on and reschedule it. We've ran out of attempts.
You got to show up there to get it.
Yeah, we tried, but so I've got to fill out a thing now to see, because they say after so many attempts they just send it back to return to sender.
No.
So we'll have to do this all over again. So Stevie, I didn't get your painting yet. I'm excited to see it.
Send it to my house.
Well, that's what I said. Or I should have. Yesterday I had the option. I think you could have changed the address.
Oh,
You just sent it to work or Amy's
Yeah,
work. Or
Amy's, yeah.
all kinds of options, but he sent it to my address. And I even, when he told me that he was going to be sending it, I'm opening up a text. Oh, I missed one from E too. We'll read it. We'll get to that. But he said, should be there Monday. I put a deal on it where you have to sign in order to get the package. Have a good weekend, man. I said, well, hopefully they deliver it while somebody's here. Laugh out loud.
Yeah.
Thank you. Have a good one too. And the good one too was, what I really meant was, why did you have it signed for? But I said, thank you.
Well, he's heard
And
you talk about how we're in the meth capital.
We are in the hood.
Yeah.
People steal so much shit. I got a link just sent to me a minute ago to get on and try to file for it. So I am going to get this. I'm going to get it.
Okay.
But we don't have it this week. So
Okay.
kickoff weekend. Have you watched the football game? When was the last football game you watched, Skin Man?
Friday.
You did?
Yeah.
Who'd you watch?
It was KU.
Okay.
My man.
They played Iowa, and I
It's a
went
state
to,
that starts with I.
Indiana.
Illinois.
Different state.
Illinois.
There we
Yeah, it was the
go.
orange team. It was Bill
Yeah.
Self's old team.
Yeah, those cells.
You quit doing that, you hear it on there.
Yeah, I went with two buddies of mine. We went to the O. So I had an O burger with that snooty provolone cheese
Ooh.
and
Where's the old O?
bunch beer. No, it's over by Star Lumber, the Oasis Lounge.
Okay. I got a friend that works there. If you're
Oh,
waiting,
by Star Lumber. Okay.
Yeah.
I can't
On
remember.
West Street.
Yeah, I know somebody that works there. Okay, so you watched the football. And you watch any pro football?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, your fantasy football team kicked ass.
Yeah, I did see that.
Our show league started a
You beat
fantasy.
my wife's team.
Yeah, our show or the show has a fantasy league, and we have listeners involved. We have family, friends. We only have 10 people we know total. So,
Yeah.
but after 1 week, my son is 1-0. Greg, a listener, is 1-0. His team is Mr. Fancy Pants. My son, who's 5'8" at best, 5'7", is 6'2" and handsome is his name. He is handsome. I'm Coach's Clowns. We're 0-1. Sarah, Forever Young, is 0-1. Amish Country, which is a show tradition. He doesn't win. That's Chris. from PA is 0-1. Skinman 1-0, put up like 147 points. Rock Chalk,
46, wasn't it?
what was it?
146?
There we go.
It's a lot.
Rock Chalk, not but nobody's counting. Rock Chalk TJ is 1-0. Scrubs and Beyond Eric is 1-0. He beat my wife, who's the defending Super Bowl league champion, is 0-1. And poor Steve over there in El Dorado, formerly of Cali, is 0-1. So thanks everybody for playing. It's fun. It's a good way to talk shit and stay interactive throughout the year. So while we're doing it, we'll just do our pick fours and get this stuff out of the way. Sorry if you're not a sports fan and you. This is normally toward the end of the show, but I just want to get it out of the way. Our pick four this week: Ravens versus Bengals.
Ravens. Bengals. Change. Bengals.
Ravens.
Las Vegas versus the Bills.
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 Did they play last week? Raiders?
Yes, they won against the Broncos. Everybody played week
Did
one.
Jimmy G do good?
He played okay. He was
Yeah.
a good game manager. Shit game of the week: New York Giants, who lost 0-40 or 40-0, however you want to say it, to them Dallas Cowboys, and the Cards. It might be our only big win of the year, but we'll take it in a rainy, shitty weather.
I'll
So,
take the Giants.
Skinman, Giants, Cardinals,
Cardinals.
which they played pretty bad too. That's why it's the shit game of the week. And our last game, which could be a good game if Miami could crush it. Miami versus the Pats.
I'll take Dolphins.
Pats.
Yeah, never count out Bill Belichick and the fumbling Ezekiel Elliott, who had not a great opening weekend. I'm going to go. The Bengals cannot play that bad 2 weeks in a row. I'm going to go Bengals. I'm going to go Bills.
Joe Burrow had 82 yards.
Yeah.
There's no way he could ever.
And he didn't play all off season, hurt, all that. I'm going to go Cards. And I'm going to go Pats. I just don't know if it's too hard to believe in them. So, and Belichick don't like losing. And from Steve, we've got the Bengals, the Bills, the Giants, and Miami. So,
Speaking of NFL news, remember a few weeks ago when we had our talk about smelly vajayjays?
No.
yes.
And we talked about who.
You think some NFL guys have smelly vajayjays?
The reason why we thought that people stay away from Taylor Swift is how it got started.
Yeah, the stank.
She has a stinky one. Well, it's come to find out the reason why Travis Kelce got hurt, or injured his knee, is because him and Taylor Swift are dating, and I think he dislocated his knee running away from her smelly vajayjay.
Are they dating really?
Breaking news:
I thought he was
Travis
married.
Kelce and Taylor Swift have been quietly dating despite earlier reports that she turned him down.
Ooh.
Travis Kelce and Taylor Swift are reported to be spending time with each other as of late. Kelce tight end revealed his failed attempt to hook up with her during when they were in Kansas City, but it has been told due to
After he won another Super Bowl, like, all right.
well, this was after,
Oh,
but
okay.
so not only is he injured, but he's soon to be in a Taylor Swift song about.
I was gonna say a breakup song.
Yep. So
She only dates guys for the ammunition. Our album coming out, that's a great thing.
R.I.P. to Travis Kelce, man.
Yeah, she takes people under, man. Of course.
She does.
Yeah, what's his name? Mayer or whatever. And
John Mayer.
yeah, you ever heard anything from him since?
No,
Nope.
no.
Fell off from that.
Yep.
Uh,
Also, the other big NFL news is Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna
Achilles
say.
last night. That was kind of crazy. We were watching it, and I texted you, and you just missed it because
yeah, I was outside.
for
My
something.
buddy stopped by for 1 minute. I went out to talk to him, and
Yeah.
I stepped in, and it was literally the first snap that Wilson was taking right after
Yeah.
they got him off the field. They waited a while to show the replay at that.
Yeah, they
point.
weren't doing it. I was
And then all of a
weird.
sudden they showed it once they were pulling the card out to him, and I'm like, oh yeah, that didn't look good.
Yeah.
I did look like an ankle, and you don't go down and hold your foot like that. So when it came out today that it was a torn Achilles, I think like Durant was like one of the first ones, like, dude, and Durant had just tore his, and he knows.
Yeah.
And when you watch Kobe do his,
Yeah.
like you lose kind of control of it. You just flex your calf up, and you see him grab his
Yeah.
calf, which is another sign. Every one of them did that.
It was weird too because he stood up and he kind of limped, and then Sarah.
And it may not have been completely tore at
Yeah.
that point.
My wife was talking about something. I looked over at her, looked back and he was on the ground. I was like, that's weird. He just sat down. And I was like, he must be pretty hurt because Aaron Rodgers is a tough fucking dude.
Hard to say. And
And-
he's missed quite a bit, but yeah, I mean, he usually plays through some pretty good
And then
injuries.
next thing you know, he's in the tent, and then they're not showing nothing, not showing anything, and then all of a sudden he's in the cart. The cart pulls up. I was like, that is not good.
Man, you remember when those tents first started? They were like tiny. Now, like, dude, we could do this podcast and have 3 guests inside one of those tents.
They're probably air conditioned. and
Oh
everything.
man, oh yeah, I'm sure they got like a freaking dining room and
Yeah,
pops up and just
toadies, and
Oh yeah.
that's where they put the Toradol or whatever else they do.
Oh, yeah.
The coach from Varsity Blues like, take the fucking shot,
Take
boy.
the shot. You're going back in.
Shut the fuck up. What did he call him? The quarterback? What was his name?
Mox.
Get the fuck out of here, Mox.
No, that's the new. Oh yeah, that's the one that took the
Yeah.
replaced him. Yeah.
Get the fuck out,
Get
Mox.
out of here, Mox.
You don't need to watch this shit. We
Okay.
won fucking 6 district championships.
State, bitch.
We ain't never won state, but we won 6 district champs. You want one of these fucking rings? Go out and get you one, huh? It ain't no state ring, but
That's
it's fucking
Varsity Blues,
district
yeah, man,
champion.
And then last sport thing I have for right now, we're gonna Michigan won
Mhm.
35-7. Had another game where they scored in the last 1 minute to not get a shutout or last 2 minutes. And then KU won to go 2-0.
Yeah.
So this is Skinman picked Michigan to go 2-10. So
So-
he's still
So
on
if we-
track.
If they lose next week, you're
It's
going
all,
to be a
I'm gonna
little
be
worried.
real scared.
Yeah.
And he's got KU going 7-5, which isn't far from what I did. So.
Do you know who they're playing next week, Michigan? Did we write it down?
That's what I was
W's?
going to look. Yeah, I just
I'll
wrote.
look it up right now.
Yeah, we'll go fill that in.
Researching.
So, Skinman, you had a couple. Well, we had a game. Are we going to do your news as the game, or you got any real stories, or how are we going to do this?
I've got
I told you the game I wanted to play.
I've
and
got
then
real
you ran
stories.
wild.
I have one fake one.
Oh, so you only have one fake.
Michigan's playing Bowling Green, by the way.
So are you going to give us all of the stories and we guess which is the fake one?
Yeah, we
Or-
can do that.
Or are you just going to read a fake one and then we got to tell you which one was the fake one?
Well, what's the difference?
And I thought like the headlines, like, because my game I was going to do, so I'll give you an example. It's called Skin News or Fake News, okay? Story number 1, Halloween movie house, that movie that Halloween was shot in, sells for $1.8 million. Story 2, Nightmare on Elm Street house sells for $500K at auction. Which one's the real story?
The last one.
You picked the Nightmare on Elm Street house?
I'll go opposite.
Okay. And then I would click on the story because I don't even know on some of these. I do. Halloween movie, except all. Halloween movie murder house in Los Angeles sales for $1.8 million. So, yeah, if you're not scared off by the price tag, something, then I wasn't going to read the story. I was going to do headlines.
Okay.
That was mine. So,
I do just do headlines.
no, that's okay. And then we'll, whatever story we pick, we do, I don't know. I was just asking.
Okay.
We didn't talk about it.
Well, we can get the listeners involved too. They can chime in and
Well, we are on YouTube, and we got nobody watched. I've clicked over to. We got 2 on Facebook. They can tell us.
okay. Well, the first story is electronic construction sign displays curse words in Houston.
Okay.
A human skull found in Goodwill donation box. And eat chocolate cake to keep diabetes in check.
It's got to be the head of the Goodwill box. True story. I know the Houston one's probably true. Because...
Well, which one's fake?
There's only one fake.
Oh,
out of
one's
there.
fake? Okay, the diabetes one's fake.
That is the one.
Okay,
I said.
that's your vote. That's your vote. We'll give listeners a little time to cast their vote.
Okay, well,
on
read us
which is
part
fake.
of one of the stories then.
Okay, I'll go with a different one.
Well, you could have read whatever one, and a fake story has a story too.
Well, all right.
You do whatever you want.
Single mom claims a slice of cake calms down her diabetes. Samantha Gillespie of Northern Michigan has lost most of her left leg due to chocolate cake. Being a type 2 diabetic, it can be controlled through diet. Doctors do not agree with her decisions that are pro-sugar. The lack of insulin that the pancreas is unable to generate will cause her more health problems, said Dr. Eli Goldstein.
Oh, anybody with last name Steen.
So that's got to be a real story.
Yeah.
That's still the one I guess is fake. Stevie V said and that's a Steve from Casper, not Steve from Cali.
Stevie. That's
Yeah, Stevie. He picks the diabetes story as well. So I think
Okay.
Skin Man, namely because I sent over the other two stories, I know which one is the fake.
she cheated.
Well, I know, that's why I told him.
Next time we'll have Skin Man just pick it. You won't be involved, so you can't cheat.
Yeah, that's true.
Well, I think it's funnier this way.
Yeah. Casey's like,
Let's see.
Yeah,
How about
definitely
I do what I
diabetes.
didn't send it?
It'd been even more fucked up if he got it wrong, even though he cheated. So,
Well, I still didn't say I knew I was right, you know. Okay, so my story number 2 for Skin News or Fake News. Story 1: 2 men arrested for smashing a hole in the Great Wall with an excavator. Story 2: 2 men arrested for digging a tunnel under the Great Wall for a quicker passage.
that's got to be a deep fucking footing to that thing, because that's something which has been standing for a long time. They got to have been smashing through it.
Okay, you pick the smashing through it, the real one or the fake one?
The real story.
Okay,
The fake one's the tunneling under.
you're both correct. China authorities arrest 2 for smashing shortcut through the Great Wall with an excavator. China's Great Wall has been.
Great Wall, like the.
You don't
You're
want to
talking
drive
about,
around it.
No, but are you talking about like the Chinese food place that we go? Or
No,
like
I'm talking about
Walmart?
literally the Great
Okay.
Wall of China.
Oh, all right.
Uh,
Because sometimes the Great Wall is hit and miss with their food.
I thought you were talking about the one over on Lincoln.
No, I usually go to the
a
one
couple of
on
construction
Maple.
workers named Zhang and Wang. It's
No, they're not.
Zheng and Wang. Zhang and Wang.
That's about right.
Who wanted a shortcut. Authorities in China arrested 2 men for smashing a path through a section of the ancient wall, a cultural icon, and United Nations protected heritage site, one of the 7 wonders of the world. So,
I remember Zhang and Wang. They were on Life Olympics.
so that was my version of. So which story was it? Was the fake one though?
We had the answer, both of us were correct, but we answered it differently. So sometimes you can get the right answer by coming to different routes of it, but as long as it's the same.
So how did you come to the conclusion?
I went
said
from
that-
A to C.
Yeah, I said you couldn't go under, so obviously through would have to be the right answer. And Skinman said you couldn't go under would be the wrong answer. So
But you both were
Yeah,
going with the same one.
different ways.
How did you formulate with his between the skulls, the curse words on the thing, and the diabetes?
Because I've been to Houston and I can tell you that's probably a fact.
Can we hear that story, Skid Man?
Coming right up.
Houston curse word is like news. Something in Spanish, probably.
Public Works officials in Houston say they do not know how an electronic construction sign came to display a profane message.
I want to know what it is.
Due to
Yeah,
weather,
cock.
the sign's first message reads, before switching to a message reading, "Go expletive yourself."
I think it's go. We're taking guesses on this. It's going to go F yourself.
Yeah.
Well, it's got to.
Go
Okay.
suck yourself.
Go shit in a box yourself.
Go fuck your mother.
Well, but it said yourself, so go fuck your mother yourself.
Yeah.
There was one expletive.
Well, she's
so
not going to do it.
Well,
Somebody's got
Go
to.
sex yourself.
Yeah, but yeah.
That's the same thing as go fuck yourself.
Witnesses said the
That's what it
sign
was.
displayed the message for hours before being shut off by a city
But
inspector.
to some old lady, go fuck myself.
What?
I will do nothing of the sort.
Okay.
Meanwhile, everybody else in Houston, in a good mood, says, "Way ahead of you.
Yeah.
I took care of that this morning."
Well, that's
I'm
it's like,
already
well,
fucked because I paid $10 to drive back and forth to work every day.
but it also
Well,
saves you because when instead of having to flip them off the whole time, when you drive by the sign, the guy's riding your ass, you just point over to the sign. You just drive
Talking
by
to you.
Listen, I've been wanting to tell you that for a long time, Tailgating Steve.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry, I'm using Steve a lot. Tailgating Ted sounds better anyway.
Tailgate Tim.
Houston Public Works said it does not operate the sign, and officials are still trying to identify its owner.
Yeah, it's an old third party thing there, old son.
Who does operate it? The construction company?
Yeah.
It's a rental.
Yeah, they have like
I wonder.
around here they have a company that does that.
So,
You
like,
see
if
them
you-
all the time.
if
They
you-
look like KDOT workers, but they're not.
if
Happy
you,
birthday, Barbara. Go expletive yourself.
if you worked for one of those companies before and you know how to like get in there and do it, I'm sure it has to be done with a laptop or something.
Yeah.
But it may even be more. It may have something built.
I
in.
think they got a box on the side of them. You just break into it and put in the code.
Put in whatever you want.
Like, and you type in "I love cock meat sandwiches."
Well, I know that's what you put in everything.
Yeah.
I know.
Yep.
That's your password, actually. Sorry, you just gave it out.
Shit.
So,
A public works employee said the part of the sign that controls its message is locked inside an attached box, indicating the person responsible
Shoot.
for the message either has clearance to unlock the box or has enough experience with the equipment to know how to open it without being
I mean, if you run
granted
for one of those
access.
places, it's pretty.
that's what I said. This guy used to do it. They fired him, and he
Yeah,
just said,
he's like,
"I'm gonna get you in trouble,
you got to
bitches."
learn to go fuck yourself to his boss who fired him for
Uh-huh.
taking a shit on the side of the road with nobody in a porta potty.
Yeah.
Well, it was right in front of the camera.
Yeah.
Oh, so they busted him?
Oh, that
No, it's
Never
not
been
like the guy
caught.
taking a shit.
Oh, okay. What were you doing?
Who is your favorite black 1980s to 1990s wrestler?
Junkyard Dog.
Okay. Any other ones? Maybe one that was.
didn't like Booker T.
Was a bodyguard.
Zeus.
Oh, he pitied the fool.
Maybe one that worked for a certain
Virgil?
$1 million man.
I didn't really. He was like the Ultimo heel. I liked him when he turned on.
Well, yeah, that was the best part. So most people know that are wrestling fans that Virgil's like extreme asshole in real life, like douche.
That Virgil is.
Yeah, Virgil has claims that he has had sex with 1 million women in his lifetime.
And 14 dudes.
Yeah, but you can't.
He didn't say how many dudes.
You can't do it like
Well,
maybe
that
if
was
you're
at
doing
least
it by the
14.
pound or something.
I don't know.
or-
Here we go. So when asked about let's see here.
I never counted as at least
It
6.
says Virgil has he lies a lot, right?
Okay.
During a recent
Propensity.
propensity to lie. During a recent interview with Vinny Vegas, Breadstick Diaries podcast, Virgil was asked about.
Damn it! They're already doing my breadstick thing.
Fuck.
Fuck! I didn't copyright it.
No shit. Virgil was asked about his experience with ring rats, and ring rats are like groupies for
Yeah,
wrestling.
no, I get
okay?
it.
And how many of them he had sexual encounters with?
That's what like
Answer-
your buddy said you were was a ring rat.
I don't think so.
Oh.
So Virgil, how many ring rats you had sex with? I don't know how many, hundreds of thousands of rats. I don't know, maybe like worldwide, probably like 1 million. Interviewer laughs. Come on, 1 million? Yeah. You got like how many people in the world? Interviewer. So you're paying me right now. You're telling me your estimated number of women you had sex with is 1 million. Virgil, it could have been. Interviewer. So that's more than Ric Flair. Virgil, yeah.
How many years? Let's do some math real quick. Oh, how many years did he wrestle? Or how-
Let's just give Virgil 30 years.
okay, 30 years times 365
Mhm.
is 10,950 days.
Okay.
Okay? So now, let's do some more math, and let's take 1 million divided by 10,950 days. You know how many chicks he's banging a day?
10.
91 chicks a day.
91 chicks a day.
Well, when you get them 3 at a time, yeah.
If I did my math correct.
Now,
I'm not a
okay,
mathematician.
here, let's do this. So say Virgil has 12-inch penis. Now divide that by 12. Maybe he's talking about inches of penis into women.
Nobody's saying women. That's what I thought with my pounds thing. Was it was either by the weight pound or by the
It could be.
pound, you
Yeah.
know?
So how about this? You can do Ric Flair. He says he's had sex with 10,000 people in his life.
Well, we'll give him a
You
40.
can give him 40.
Let's give him a 40-year career. So times 365, 14,600. So how many did you say? 10,000?
That's less than one a day. So
That's
pretty
probably.
accurate.
I
And he
almost-
was married for almost all of that too.
Yeah, he's doing. And maybe he mixed some midgets in there. He's doing 0.68 chicks a day.
That's definitely doable.
Yeah, because I'll bet that he had some weekends where it was 4, 5, 6 or
Yeah.
whatever, and And I don't know, you do consider a three-way, like, sex with multiple people,
So if
right?
you have
Well, that
like,
just sounds like sloppy gonorrhea.
Oh, I'm sure all of them have to.
yeah.
So,
So you think if you have sex, like
91
group sex-
chicks a day, that was more than what Scottie Pippen's wife said. She made him have sex like 8 times a day
Yeah,
or 6
yeah.
times a day. They'd had sex like 150,000 times or something.
Yeah,
and
and
that
that-
was like,
Now she's letting Michael Jordan's son fucking.
yeah, that's okay. I would like to know who's bigger.
Michael Jordan's son or Scottie Pippen?
Well, but yeah, I mean, Michael Jordan's son's the same size as Michael Jordan, I'm sure.
I don't think so.
You don't think they're hung the same?
Nah.
You
'Cause
don't have your
you
dad,
got-
you have your mom's dick, not your
You gotta
dad's?
add your mom's dick's family in there too.
You have
so-
your mom's dick?
Yeah, I guess.
Poor guy's got your mom's dick.
Yeah. So earlier I was driving here and I saw a dude running.
Okay.
He was running pretty gay looking. So it got me thinking, what's
I've seen
Like-
you run, so I
what's like the gayest looking things people can look that are probably unathletic doing? Running, throwing a football, shooting a jumper.
you mean,
You probably can't look gay swinging at a golf club. Like that's
I
where
think
you just
you
have,
could.
have a shitty looking swing, but you
I
don't
like
swing-
swinging an axe, or is we just doing sports?
Well, yeah, sports or
I mean, because if you
And
do
you-
lumberjack sports, then
yeah.
soccer would be one where you have no, but you would look like that playing soccer.
That's just not knowing how to kick. But you can like throw a football like super shitty and
Well,
look
that
gay
just
at it.
that, you just
You-
nailed it there.
you
You
can-
just did a
Well, I can't like fucking do it without smacking anything. Shoot a jumper, pretty gay. I would say running would probably be the number one gayest thing you can do.
I think
Look
volleyball.
the gayest thing I think you could do would probably be banging other dudes.
No, I'm talking
sports
about sports-wise.
Okay.
Sports wise, it'd be volleyball, but like
What would you do in
nature-wise.
volleyball to be gay looking?
Bumping.
Something like when you're on your knees and
Setting.
you're like this.
I think that's called spiking.
No, when you're down on your knees, like looking up.
Oh, but who gets on their knees to bump? I just do it standing.
Girls fucking digging, son.
Well, yeah, but I'm not digging no matter. I'm not digging.
But
I
I ain't even no dudes.
Nah. I guess that would be bumping. Setting,
Yeah.
bump, set, spike.
Usually that's a dig though. They're not usually bumping when they're doing that. They're usually one hand digging it.
Yeah.
But
Either
I mean,
way.
it's considered a
Some
bump.
girls get down deep
Yeah.
for a bump.
No, I know they see them. They're all the way down there on their knee and doing it. Yeah, I just wouldn't. I don't have good.
I would,
knees.
and on opposite way, the sexiest women's sport is
I think-
definitely volleyball, right?
I think a baseball, a
water
swing of a
polo.
baseball bat can put somebody down real quick too. I think that's one that would make you look. I don't know why you're using the term gay, but
I mean, like just this dude I saw running
make you
today
look
looks super
feminine.
gay.
Yeah, I think, especially if you don't know how. But he might have been super.
He could have been. He looked kind of gay, so.
I watched,
But again, the way he was running made him look gay.
I
So.
watched a Family Guy clip just yesterday, and it was like all the kids were growing up and they were playing, I guess, in lacrosse or some. They were doing that crochet or the longboard cricket.
Cricket
Yeah, and then
with the flat.
and this guy was running by, and he's like, you guys right now beat him for being gay or whatever, and it goes off screen, and they're like, or teach him what it's like to be gay. So all of a sudden they're like, he's like, that's a good start, and he's like, oh, don't use the paddles like that. Okay, if you can't do it, put it down and use your fist. Oh no!
They're
So they
getting
were
it to
teaching him
huh?
what it was like to be gay.
Nice.
So there was a video on the interwebs of women's water polo,
Okay.
and there was a GoPro underwater. And these ladies aren't ladylike at all because they're
They're
grinding wedgies into the
Mhm.
opposite player. They're
Like
doing titty twisters.
Of to
They're
each
doing
other.
front wedgies. They're just
Ooh.
trying to distract them so then they can get the ball in the water polo. But that underwater camera water polo is my favorite sport.
Yeah, you can do the all underwater view.
You get shots like that.
Here at the Ocho, we do the all
Yeah.
underwater polo view.
It's like that shot we sent to Rhea Ripley the other day when she's on the ropes and
Uh-huh.
her ass cheeks hanging over. Yeah, that cameraman wins for that. Yeah,
Just stays there.
yeah. Just
Huh.
okay. I do.
So
have-
what would be the best other sports to, instead of above view, watch an under view of? Tennis.
Yeah. A lot of those girls are pretty thick in the legs. Basketball would be probably the worst. I mean,
Yeah, you see a lot of a lot of wieners.
yeah.
I mean, you don't want to see Brittany Griner's wiener.
How big? You think Brittany Griner's wiener is
She's got
bigger
her,
than ours?
she's got her dad's dick, that's for sure.
Yeah, she got the same dick that her dad has and her brothers.
No, I think she's a woman.
You really think she's a woman?
Yes, she's a woman.
I don't know about
Like, they showed like all kinds of stuff.
I've seen her with her shirt off, and she doesn't even have tits.
You did not see her with the shirt
The
off. You seen her
fuck?
with the sports bra.
Google it. As my wife
Or
would
did
say,
she get it
Google
removed?
it. I don't know. There is no tits. Like I've seen her like at a pool wearing like dude's shorts.
Was this
No
out in
shirt.
Goddard?
Huh?
Was this out in Goddard?
This is Garden Plain.
Ah.
Thinking a lot of faggot shit going on.
Oh my God.
man! You were. We've already been canceled everywhere.
Yeah,
so
what's
it
the
don't
matter?
matter.
Hey,
but,
it's popular. It's coming back where we can say this kind of shit.
Allegedly.
Well, I don't like. I mean, you can.
You like that word too, don't I?
I don't
You
say that word very
Since
often.
when?
Well, how often do you hear me say
I
it?
probably heard you say it within the last month at least. The only time anybody's ever said it on this show besides right now is you.
That's true, and I'm also the only other person that said the other word.
Yeah, so you lose all the way around.
But they were both in the heat of passion things.
I was
Yours was just.
I was just talking about Garden
Yours
Plain.
was
got
a
me
daily
fired up.
vernacular.
It
Yeah.
was hot out that day.
It was.
What do you got? What else you got?
Okay, so I've been watching Entourage, and
This will be 3 shows in a row you've talked about
I know.
Entourage.
I'm listening to the podcast too.
All right.
So-
that doesn't make it better.
So the original E, not my ex E or E from this show,
Okay.
our good buddy E, Kevin Conley.
Okay.
He was talking about a story because he's been around Hollywood for a long time. He's
Yeah,
like-
little kid. He was on Goonies. He was on all
he
kinds
wasn't
of
on
stuff.
Goonies, but yeah, that was Rudy that was on Goonies. They
Same
look kind
guy.
of the same. They
Same
kind of
person.
look the same.
They are the same
Yeah,
guy.
that'd be Sean Austin. They're not the same.
Same dude.
Okay. Well, anyways,
Google both.
so
Tell
he-
me they're not the same dude.
they do look exactly the same. Yeah.
Okay, because
So
they're the same dude.
he had some kind of promotion thing in a casino, but he was underage, and
He was on Stand By Me.
he's definitely not Stand By Me.
Yeah, there's a little fat kid in there.
No, he was
Same
on.
guy.
He was on that movie too, where he like tried out for the Notre Dame football team.
Yeah,
Yeah.
same dude.
Sucked, but they just let him play because he had.
Which I've heard is fake. If we're going back to, we talked about The Blind Side, which, you
Since he
know,
was retarded or something like that, they had him on there, right?
what, Notre Dame?
Yeah.
Well, they just said that basically the whole thing, he only played the one play, nobody ever went, not the whole thing, but like Joe Montana.
Nobody returned their jersey.
They didn't turn the jerseys in. Maybe one person would have said he could have my jersey for the
Wow.
game or something like that. But
It didn't happen.
yeah, but I mean, they've got to hype it up for the movies because he was really getting beat up and
Yeah.
freaking, like he was that guy everybody teabagged and did
Yeah.
that stuff too. He was back when you could haze.
Back when you could rape a dude.
or haze or whatever.
Yeah,
Yeah,
whatever.
that wasn't gay. You were just being funny.
It's just dominance.
Yeah.
Anyways, so Kevin Conley
And Sandusky was one of the assistants in that movie. So
was a promoter, was doing some promotion at a casino in Vegas, but he wasn't old enough to gamble. And he said he only had like $10, and he gave it to some girl that was his friend.
this
at
is
the
a
time.
real life story, not
That's
on
a
the
real
show.
life story.
Okay.
And she goes and puts in a slot and wins $400,000.
They split it or
She didn't give him a fucking penny.
what?
Yeah. Yep.
Did he fire her?
They were friends.
Oh, they were just friends.
Yeah.
Did he fire her as a friend?
She fired him as a friend. She would never give him any money or return any of his phone calls.
I would have told
It has
that
him
he-
blocked on everything.
See,
she
I
said.
would have went like right. Of course, you don't know how quick. You don't know right away that she's not going to give you none.
Yeah.
And then I think once you're well past it, you can't go and claim that she
Yeah.
did an illegal gamble.
Could you imagine that though? You fucking give a buddy like, hey, throw it in. It's
Here's
like,
$100. Go spin it.
what's that movie with Ashton Kutcher? Just Married, where they
Yeah.
do that, and then they're like, oh, we just got married. He thinks it's his money. She thinks it's hers, and the judge is like, well, you guys got to stay married. I don't
Yeah.
care about the money, and you got to stay married if either one of you want it, because I'm locking it up for probate.
Which it could not happen. I mean, that's fake. Again,
Yeah.
that's another movie that was based on a true story that is just
Based on
completely
heat, yeah.
fabricated. You
Yep.
know?
So,
So,
The news is fake.
Skid Man's playing this fake news. The other big news of the weekend was UFC. Our new favorite fighter,
not our.
who tells
Your,
it like how it
your
is,
new favorite. He's been
Sean-
your favorite fighter.
Sean Strickland,
Sean Straight Up Strickland. What's his actual nickname?
is like
The Raging Warriors.
I don't know what.
I think it should be Sean Straight Up Strickland.
probably yeah.
That'd be straight up.
He fucked him up, man.
I don't know if that is not the case.
He whooped his ass.
No, he
the
did
whole
not.
time. Yeah, he did.
No, he did not.
Yeah, he did.
It was he knocked him down. The first round, Asanya dominated until the last freaking 30 seconds. The second round, Asanya dominated until the last
He
minute.
didn't win one round. I don't think. Did he?
That was 49-46. So yeah, he won one. And I think it was second round that they actually gave him, and then third on. But this is the reason why one is Asanya, whatever his name is, didn't fight even close to how he didn't attack.
Yeah.
He didn't do none of
It
those
was weird
things.
because Dana. Did you see what Dana had to say about it.
I know he's pissed off.
He was like, I don't know what the fuck's up with him. He's like, he's moving in slow motion. He said, I asked him what was wrong. He said, I'll talk to you about it later. And then on the post fight, he said, he came on there and he said, I wasn't going to say much no matter what. I don't got anything to say, and basically walked off. And it was really weird. But I don't know. And then Strickland, even after talking all that shit and everything, was super like, you know, well, I mean, that's just part of it, kind of, for some of them guys. But yeah.
Well, I think he's trying to be, because a story came out literally like the night before that the UFC was pissed at Lasagna because they wanted him to fight Duplessis or somebody else, and he wanted the Strickland fight because he wanted to just end the shit talking. He wanted to get it over with. And he's like, let me whoop this dude's ass real quick. And then
well, now
I don't think he prepared for it. I think, and plus everybody I've talked to, I watched Bisping did a thing where it was, what's the one I hate that was always talk shit. You loved him.
Tito?
No, he does all the podcasts and stuff. He looks kind of like Bisping. He was on ESPN.
The guy that almost beat fucking Anderson Silva back in the day.
God damn it. Anyways.
Frank Mir.
No. You know what I'm talking
Tito
about.
Ortiz.
No, stop saying
Chuck Liddell.
No, stop saying names that are
Forrest
clearly
Griffin.
not it. No, stop saying names that are clearly not
Nate
it.
Diaz.
No. But anyways.
Rob Schneider.
No. But he was on there and he said he showed up somewhere when he was like, he was 20. And they were meeting up for like.
Oh, yeah, he said he had 17 fights. Or
yeah, he was 17-0, and he's like, bullshit. And then he started fighting with. He's like, well, maybe he could be, you know.
Chael Sonnen.
There you go, Chael Sonnen. Sorry.
Yeah.
I don't do good with names. Faces, like
I saw his face the whole time.
Stupid floppy
swoop.
hair.
Yeah. That was the thing. I was seeing his ugly face and that. Yeah.
He was your favorite for a while, just because his shit talking.
Yeah,
he was all over.
He's really good at it.
Yeah, he's like, he mixes the what you love, the WWE and the UFC.
And speaking of that, yesterday was the merger from WWE and UFC.
Yeah, they said it was McMahon's last show as
Yep.
boss.
And the new name of it used to be Zuffa, and then it was something else, and now it's called TKO.
It's still gonna be WWE.
WWE, like the whole parent company is TKO. They'll still be WWE. And
So they're getting rid of Triple H. They're
Triple H just is not on the board. Triple H is still
GM or whatever.
head of creative, and that Tony Khan's the president. And then not Tony Khan.
Yeah, I was gonna say that's
well, his name's Khan too, but
Sasha.
yeah, Sasha Khan. Yeah, he used to play for the Bulls.
There we go.
Yeah. So they're talking about having events at the same weekend in the same place, which would be pretty fucking cool.
Yeah,
It'd be cool if they could get some crossover.
It's gonna be hard.
Or had some of those
It's
WWE
hard
guys
to-
fight. What if
It's hard to go to a UFC match and then watch wrestling.
or watch wrestling first and go to UFC.
Yeah, or I mean, if they did them, maybe like, it sells to a different. I'm not saying the audiences don't combine, but
Yeah.
it does sell to a different.
And WWE's gonna sell more tickets.
than UFC.
Yeah.
Would it?
Yeah. I mean, UFC can't fill an 80,000 seat arena.
They can't.
Have they ever?
I thought they do Madison Square Garden. They
Madison
well, it's
Square
not
Garden's
that big,
small
yeah.
shit. It's like 12,000.
60,000.
No, it's like 12,000.
I guess that's football.
It's
field.
small.
Yeah, it's like.
It's smaller than.
I'm sure it's
East
got to
Coast
be at
Bank
least
Arena.
20.
No, I don't think so.
Really?
Yeah.
What about the Boston Garden?
Boston Garden? I don't. Can you do a Boston? Skinman, can you do a Boston accent for us?
The closest I can get is Olive Garden.
Okay, we'll try that.
Welcome to Olive Garden.
MSG's 19,500.
Well, I was closer, 20.
MetLife
times
is,
3.
MetLife's 82,500. Oh, speaking of that, my wife's watching it. We watched it national anthem and everything, and they're doing those green lights whenever.
Didn't they just have an event this weekend, or
At what?
I mean, didn't they have a pay-per-view this weekend or last weekend or
Oh,
something?
you're thinking of
What did he do?
AEW had to
We
win.
haven't
That was
talked
in
about your
Europe.
boy getting fired.
He did. Yeah. Well, anyways, so she's like, Aaron Rodgers comes out and they had all those green lights and shit. My wife goes, "That's awesome." Is this like the most people ever at a football game ever? And I said, no, not at all. But there is a lot of people there tonight, and the lights are making it look cooler.
Because I think I don't know, what'd you say they're how many?
82,500.
So they're still smaller than the Redskins and the Cowboys,
Okay.
and then a lot of colleges.
So what can the Cowboys do?
With the standing, I think they broke the record at like 105 something. It was the first ever game over 100, and then I think it's like 90,000 for Washington Stadium.
And what's the biggest college one? Michigan.
It's either Michigan. No, it's either Penn State, Michigan, or Michigan. I know is close because they're like 110,000 or something.
You know, now I stop and think about it. I did know a guy that was from Boston, and he'd
Your
call people a goddamn peckerwood,
cousin from Boston.
and then he'd say, "Oh yeah, I went around looking for him. I put my shotgun in the back of the goddamn truck to go talk to that son of a bitch."
Pretty decent.
Not bad.
Yeah.
Not bad. I like his. I think his Midwest China is better. But
Yeah. Or his,
Southern China.
Yeah.
he did another one the other day, like Irish or something. It's pretty good. Michigan Stadium 107,601, and then Beaver Stadium is 106,572. Then Ohio, then Kyle Field, which is Texas A&M.
So Michigan's is the biggest, huh?
Mhm.
I need to go there one day.
Yeah, that would be cool.
Maybe they'll let us do like a
live
day that
podcast.
they're not doing a game day. We could do a live podcast out front.
I need to finish working on getting us media credentials. If we get media credentials, I'm pretty sure that we can get backstage. And
If AEW keeps making dumb decisions, we'll be able to cover them real quick.
I just think if we have media credentials, I could probably call AEW and say we have media credentials and see if we can get backstage. I don't know. We can't interview Punk anymore now that he got fired. Because he's on that show, or was.
Well, he's going to be back on WWE soon.
I don't know if they'll take him back.
It's hard to say. He sells.
He does.
And now that it's not Vince McMahon, man, I know him and Triple H have a thing, but
Yeah. Well, Dana White might say, yeah, sure, you can go back to WWE.
well, I don't know if Dana White really has any say
Yeah,
on
but he can fucking pull
WWE.
some stringers.
Yeah. But he doesn't like
Very
Punk either. He didn't like him either.
Well, he works for him still
Oh,
because
does
he's on that other, what's in their little offshoot,
Contender show.
like like their minor league thing. I can't remember what it is, but he's like an announcer.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
All right. Well, what else you got, buddy?
Yesterday was 9/11.
Yeah.
I think we talked about it a little bit last year. I mean, are you 100% in that it was the government had nothing to do with it?
I don't know. I don't. It's so hard to say. I guess I don't. Nothing that I've read makes enough sense, but you can make anything make sense by reading something. Does that make
Okay,
sense?
well, how about this? Let's say, okay, obviously we know for 1,000% that two planes actually hit the two towers, right? Do you think a plane actually hit the Pentagon?
I believe so from the way it looks like it hit, and I mean, I think I remember seeing like part of the plane.
They've
there.
only ever showed one little part of a plane sticking out there, but nothing else. What about you, Skinner?
Wasn't it just like an engine?
Yeah, it was like either an engine or like
Pentagon.
maybe a wheel or whatever, a landing gear.
And then they went around and took all the video surveillance from
Yeah,
all the
and it was like
countries around.
And nothing, yeah, you couldn't see anything.
I
Yeah.
do remember watching a whole thing on like they showed the structure of the Twin Towers and how they fell from where they were burning, and a lot of it didn't make sense. They were saying like the gas was falling down. They're like, that math doesn't really check out.
Yeah.
The way that they crumbled, that like the one maybe made sense, but one of it looked like a complete implosion, like
Yeah.
somebody blew it up. And
Yes,
The
and
main,
that's what they were saying on the street. And there's not a whole lot of video. There was at the time of what people saw when they were out on the sidewalks. And it's
Yeah.
like,
But there's-
oh yeah, you hear all these explosions, and it went boom, 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 and then that's how they do a controlled
Yeah.
demolition.
yeah, the thing,
And you look at the video of controlled demolition and the Twin Towers, and they look identical.
the thing that makes the least sense of anything is that the building number 7, where all the money was at, that went missing 2
Way
days
the
before,
fuck over there.
went down all by itself and nothing happened.
Yeah.
That's the shit that makes people go, well, I told you yesterday, I said, hey, this is me logging in to your Hulu account. I said, I'm going to watch 9/11 shit all day.
all day.
And I just had it on, and I
Well,
just like to watch it
but
and
see,
get fucking
if
mad
we
about
take that
stuff.
away, then what are we mad at the terrorists for?
Well, because they still flew the planes in there.
Was
And the other
it,
thing-
was it not just
And the other thing
CIA
too,
hired?
those guys supposedly flew planes, 747s, through New York City and right directly into fucking the towers with a couple days of experience of flying planes.
I thought they took
supposedly.
all kinds of
Fly,
training
yeah.
and stuff. They had
Land?
multiple
No.
It was only like
They
yeah,
never
fly,
took-
yeah,
yeah,
that's right.
that's what they went back and looked at.
Yeah.
They never were testing landing. or
Yeah, it was
whatever.
supposed. Well, they landed it right where they wanted it, but yeah. I also looked and okay, how about this side? Because I looked at something yesterday. Between the two towers, anybody within the impact zone and above, how many people you think made it out from within the impact zone and above between both towers?
I know very few.
What's your guess?
300.
Okay, skim man.
85.
18 people. That's fucking crazy. And it was only from one of the towers. So I want to say
because one of them went like you.
it's
It's
the one that went at the angle is actually the one where people survived, because the one that went straight in, it took out all the
both of the
stairwells. But the one that went like that had one open. So yeah, that one had 18 people. And there was actually only one person, whoever was, went down and back up, that made it back out.
Yeah.
Me and my wife were watching it last night.
What was it total? Like 2,900.
2,900 some people. I've been there. Have you ever been there
No,
since?
I've never been to New York.
It's crazy. We were watching it, and it, just think of that
So
happened.
what about the one that came down in the field? Was that just a mistake? Is that the
Well,
one that was supposed to
supposedly-
hit the Pentagon?
That was the one that's supposed to go to the White House, and they crashed it. And they said that thing was 40 feet underground because it hit the ground at 500 miles an hour.
Yeah, because it was somebody that just
Yeah,
went and took over.
some
and just
guy
said-
named Todd or Tim, and you just hear him, let's roll, and they go fuck him up. But what was I saying? Anyways, could you imagine now, like the amount of videos and everything that would be out now? Like, I mean, there's a lot of people with handheld cameras back then. Yeah,
Well, you think about all the
Yeah.
tourists in the city
Yeah.
walking around looking at the thing.
still crazy the amount of footage that it was. It's 23 years ago or 22 years ago, but
Most of it's Nokia.
yeah, it was like handheld things.
Yeah,
But
Philips and Nokia ran that show.
we were watching it, and it's the guy. It was like just showing the firefighters, and they're in one of the buildings, and one of them goes down, and you just see these motherfuckers going up.
I know.
And just like,
Knowing, yeah.
just that those guys were that fucking brave that they're like, we're going in. no
Well, they
matter
had the
what.
Motorola bag phones, so they were safe.
Yeah, just to know, like.
I
how
remember
fucking-
watching a video of people inside the building. They were with some crew in there, and they started going up, and then that's when they basically, the other one had just came down,
Yeah,
and like basically half the guys decide to keep going up while some of the guys say, I just can't. You
Yeah.
know, what they interviewed one of the guys like, I should have gone with my brothers, but I just something in my body told me that we had no chance of saving anybody.
it's hard saying. I saw like a picture from far away, and it was showing the first one going in, and they said everybody on this fire truck, there's 18 people or whatever, everyone died.
Yeah.
And just, you gotta have some fucking balls, man.
Oh, yeah. That's what
I
you're trained to do, but man,
it's just hard to tell. And like, a lot of, you want to say within yourself, like I would, but then it's like, I don't know what.
If I would, I would be. If I'm not one of those,
Yeah.
you know.
I would not.
I don't think.
But I'm one of those guys. I think if the house was burning and people I knew were in there, I think I'm a guy that would
Yeah.
try everything I could.
Yeah,
You know,
sure. If it's your family,
I'd find
or
the blankets and cover up
Yeah.
with water, and I mean, I'd come up with something, you know. So
Yeah.
I don't know how that would. I guess I'd go in there with like a shield going in there. And I mean, it wouldn't have done me no good.
I mean, I put out a fire this weekend. So.
yeah, it's true. Well, you did, and you let it burn out.
Yeah. Well, I tried to save my meat.
Did you fire extinguish it?
No.
See.
My wife was like, "Let's throw water on it." I was like, "No,
Not on a grease fire.
not on a grease fire, old girl."
That's
Well,
how
the
you
yard
burn up your
fire and,
backyard.
Yeah, we'll have an explosion on our hands. There's something else I was gonna say about it.
Yeah, me and my buddy Adrian, we burnt down an acre. No, yeah, about an acre of our backyard when we lived up in Murdoch.
Oh, and water on a grease fire.
Well, it had to do with gas, lighter fluid, and fireworks. So it was a grand time.
There was a
And-
similar thing with fireworks in my neighborhood about Easter time last year. I'm not quite sure
Yeah.
what happened, but something like that.
My first
Yeah,
time
there
ever
was-
making a Molotov cocktail, I burnt the doghouse partially down and then almost got away with it, but I was so stupid that one of the towels I used, I literally went and put down in the laundry room, put it out,
Yeah,
it was burned up a little bit and smelled
nice.
Like ass.
like burnings. And then just like we'd have parties, and my brother would, and we'd clean up the house and we'd take it all across, right across the street to the park and throw all the booze bottles
Yeah.
and stuff away, the broken doors, and
Mhm.
she'd walk across the street with a door and a gallon bag of, or a 55-gallon bag of bottles. This
Yeah.
you guys?
No.
Why would you bring the bottles over? That's crazy. The last thing I have before we go do, was that the end of your story? Sorry, he cut you off.
On
Burning the field down.
no, that was about it. I was really surprised Mom didn't freak out.
Was it your field?
Well, it was the backyard, so it was mostly grass overgrown weeds anyway. So it's
Did you guys put it out with a fire hose or with a garden hose, or
well, we got the garden hose out there. It did a pretty good job.
little
at
stomp.
least protected the house?
Yeah, it was away from the house and away from the neighbor's house.
Well, I'm letting you burn my stumps out, so that's good. Speaking
Yeah,
of
what-
your credentials,
When are we doing
soon. The
that? Should have
weather's,
done it today,
well,
since it just rained yesterday.
yeah, but the weather's cooling off. It'll be a good time for a little bonfire and
Yeah.
something. So
It sounds like a good job for October.
Oh yeah.
yeah, we'll invite any of the show listeners that are in the area over for it. Steve, E. So before we go, good story. And this guy just keeps winning. And even the more I interviewed, like when I first heard the song, I was one of those those Democrats going, man, is this guy, like, what agenda does he have? You know, because everybody that comes out with a song about America or mad or whatever, but that Oliver Anthony,
He's nothing. He's not
no,
Republican or Democrat.
yeah, he's kind of in
He
the more
hates all of them.
yeah, he just hates politics
Yeah.
and he hates politicians, which I think we all should.
Yeah.
We should stop worshiping them and start realizing they're just effing all of us. Anyways, but he canceled a concert that was scheduled because he found out what the ticket prices were. He's real busy these days. He's
He's
obviously
got the number 1, 2, and 3 songs.
yeah, he's obviously blown up bigger than shit.
Mhm.
And had some concert and there was a meet and greet also.
Mhm.
And he has like a buddy or somebody doing it. And he found out the tickets for the concert were going to be $90 a piece, which in comparison to a lot of concerts, I don't think is crazy, but it's still,
That's up there.
but it was $199 for the meet and greet. He had told them he wanted $25 to $40 tickets with free meet and greet.
Okay.
He said, these guys have already made me richer than I ever planned on being, essentially. So he canceled the concert. He's trying to refund anybody that got one, and he's looking for another venue to be able to do a $25 concert.
Okay.
So I was going to offer, we'll build him a stage. If he's ever wants to do one here, we've got
He's a
plenty
man
of
of
room.
the people.
Yeah, we've got plenty of room. We'll do an outdoor event while we're burning stump. Maybe
Yeah.
he'll come over to our burn off.
Yeah. So before he made it big, he probably would have done our podcast, but he's already been on Joe Rogan, so I don't think we're gonna.
Oh, we might, man. I don't know, dude. He's still like, I seen him doing, I mean, he still gets on and does like his phone and inside of his pickup truck in rain and does,
Yeah.
sits there and does, I mean, he's still just kind of a regular dude. Now, eventually that'll go away
Yeah.
or it won't. I don't know. We hope to not see him fall or Harvey Weinstein or a bunch of shit come out. But he hasn't passed. He's already came out and said that he did drugs, he drank,
Yeah.
he did all that shit. So found Jeebus and
I just noticed the Raphael sign. Where'd that come from?
so this weekend, when E and Shannon came over, former
They had a
showmate.
sword fight.
Well, essentially, all of a sudden, them two just kept pulling out knives, and like they both had a knife. Like, and randomly, they would just start doing it. I don't know if this is something they worked out. So I
They're
didn't have a
thinking about
knife, and I
killing
was
you.
in the corner, so I knew I had two of these stashed underneath of me.
Just in case some shit ever breaks out.
So I brought mine out and just sat here and started going. I was looking around. I had a bottle in one hand,
Mhm.
and then I didn't know what was getting ready to happen.
You thought they were gonna.
It's been a long time since I've been raped. Okay.
Yeah.
And I thought this is kind of how the first one started.
Not since you've had anal sex, but since
Yes,
you're
it's
raped.
unwillingly.
Okay.
And you know, my babysitter that did it to me when I was young, when
Uh-huh.
I was like 17, she had a knife, and
Yeah.
She
Her name was Barry.
her name was Steve.
Yeah. Too many Steve stuff.
No,
going
that
on
one was
tonight.
on purpose.
I
That
do
one was
have
on
one
purpose.
more story I'd like.
Okay, let's do it.
It's Australian tourist very sorry for drunken nude rampage in Indonesia.
Okay, there seems like a lot to be sorry about. An Aussie in Indonesia.
He definitely needs to do this in Aussie.
An Australian tourist facing possible flogging after being accused of going on a drunken nude rampage in Indonesia, province of Aceh. He says he felt almost possessed at the time.
Crikey, I think your story's gone a little awry. Sorry.
Skipping through. To all I have disrespected and hurt, I'm truly sorry. Please forgive me. I'm sorry for
What did he-
embarrassing the Australian nation.
You can't. It's a prison nation. How you can't embarrass them? They have fucking 16-foot normal snakes over there.
Yeah, normal.
Sentences under Sharia-based laws in Aceh can involve public floggings for offences like drinking or adultery.
Isn't it like a flogging where they beat you with something? Do they beat your back with it, or do they beat your like your ass?
It's like a
Your back.
kendo stick type thing on your back.
Oh, it's like 20 feet long.
Yeah. See, here we call it a whip or a make a person do
And
something.
over there, they
don't
just
want
call
to
it a good old fashioned mess around.
My name is Kunta Kinte.
He's expected to appear in court and could face up to 5 years of incarceration and 4 Elishas if he's convicted.
I'd rather fucking get whipped for
Yeah, can we just take 80? Can I do 80
Yeah.
and just fuck it, you know? And can I get like 35 of them on the ass? Because I kind of like it.
Yeah. And what if he? Yeah.
So it doesn't say what he did, drunken, naked rampage. Was he naked? Did I just make that up?
Let's see. I left out all the details.
Yeah, that's usually how we like stories. We don't
We
details.
don't like this fucking.
I like to make them up. I like to picture he was drunk riding a bike. Because I sent you one that I wanted you to do, and the guy escaped using a car, a boat, and a bicycle running from cops. And I did want to. We'll save that for next week because I did want to know how that one ended.
Well, he was chasing and hitting locals. He
With this wiener,
also
with this big Australian wiener. In Indonesia, I got the biggest Australian wiener.
allegedly have injured local fishermen by pushing a motorcycle into him and making the guy get 50 stitches and a broke bone.
Isn't Steve Irwin's ghost from Australia?
Steve Irwin's ghost. Yeah.
We could see about maybe getting him on, see if he happened to be there when this happened.
He should have been there.
His hat's still here.
He was actually a merman. He just went home.
Merman without a fin. Is that what you
Well,
call
I mean,
it?
you turn into one when you
Yeah,
get
Steve
water.
Irwin. He was just tired of all the publicity,
Mhm.
and he just wanted to go home
And
and
now he came back as Oliver Anthony.
be under the sea. Under the sea.
But have you ever seen Anthony or Oliver Anthony and Steve Irwin in the same place together?
Nope.
Is there any proof they're not the same person? I know they don't look a lot alike, but he talked about doing reconstructive surgery when he was on the run and all kinds of stuff. He looked way different when he was here last time.
He did. Yeah.
So,
So we were talking about 9/11 earlier, and he just talked about Australia, and it reminds me of.
so you're blaming them for 9/11 now?
No.
This just in. Breaking news. Australia did what during 9/11?
Nothing, but I was talking about what I sent you was Shane Gillis making those jokes about Australians and 9/11.
Yeah.
How did he say? He's like,
The towers getting ready to hit the building.
he's like, watch out, Crocky, there's another one. Then when he said, he's like, it's hot in here, we're gonna have to jump out, and then they fall down. No. That
That's
I
fucked
was
up,
just,
but it's
it was
great.
fucked up, but it's hilarious. It's
Are
not
we-
too soon anymore.
What was it say? Was that 2001?
1. Yeah.
So we're 22
22
years.
years, yeah.
So it's old enough to drink. You can make fun of it.
Oh, can we say one more thing? Yesterday,
God rest the souls of the people.
Yeah, 9/11 is our buddy Brian Welch's birthday.
Yep.
He turned 50 years
50,
old.
he's the oldest friend we have.
Oldest, yeah. 50.
He's not older than your cousin, but
Cousin, no, not older than cousin Sean. But
yeah.
Brian Welch, 50 years old. Happy birthday.
Happy
Brian.
birthday, Festus.
He made it. Congratulations.
He's still got the biggest calves of anybody I've ever met.
Huge.
It's better to kick you
His
with.
calves are bigger than mine and yours.
He's got
combined.
these beautiful
Just one.
ankles and calf combination.
His
like-
fucking Achilles wouldn't tear like.
Oh God, no! If he if Mahomes tore his Achilles, fucking Brian would just cut a little piece of his out.
Yeah,
and say,
I
"Play
bet
the
Brian's
season."
fucking Achilles is like 4 times.
I bet it's the
wide.
size of that fucking can. That's his Achilles right
Yeah,
there, but
at least this thick.
that's how big his.
Now it's wiener.
Have fun. Thanks, guys. We'll be back. May have a guest next week working on it.
Okay.
Hopefully, should have a painting next week. Stevie, if you're still listening, I'm not mad at you. I'm just messing with you. That's part of the fun. He got all butthurt. I'm not butthurt, but on Facebook, he said, I'm sorry it was so difficult. I know you are. And I know people stole your paintings. They're freaking awesome. People want to steal them.
Yeah.
So I get it. We'll get it picked up. We'll figure it out. If it comes back to you, send it back to me again, but we'll give you a different address.
Yeah, there you go.
Skip, man, you got anything before we go?
No.
Tell everybody-
Just make sure you spay and neuter your pets.
Tell everybody bye. It's good, man. Tell everybody bye.
Well, we'll see you next week.
Movies aren't things that you can help. Movies are things that can kill you. I will eat your ass. What do you think that water is? It's a gay bomb, baby.
Gay bomb, baby.
I like to put chemicals in the water that turn the friggin' frogs gay.
Freaking
Do
bro.
you understand that?
Yay, frogs!
Pussy's on the pavement.
We'll do better next time, or we won't.
Oh, most likely we won't.